The population of Trnava region is 550,000, which is the smallest region in Slovakia. However, it ranks among the most productive regions in industry and agriculture. Favorable demographic potential, strategic geographical position, long tradition of spas and favorable climatic conditions are a prerequisite for further economic development. Trnava region is rich in natural beauty, full of attractive tourist places and historical architectural gems. Our first stop will be in regional capital. Trnava is called the Small Rome. It's because of a lot of churches and religious institutions located in the city, including the seat of the Archbishop of Trnava. Trnava received town privileges as the first Slovak city already in 1238, and the original parish church of St. Nicholas was there long before this date. Thanks to Cardinal Peter Pazman, the Gothic cathedral changed to predominantly Baroque. Today it is the center of religious life in the city. The construction of the Renaissance Palace at St. Nicholas, which was completed in 1562, is credited with Archbishop Nicholas Olach. Today it's a home of Metropolitan of Trnava Diocese. Medieval Trnava can be easily identified on the city map, as the historic center is clearly limited by an almost continuous ring of city walls. The busiest place in the center of Trnava is the Trinity Square. Dominant feature adapted to pedestrian zone is the Renaissance City Tower, which is the work of Master Jakub. Trnava is also linked to enlightened Catholic priest Anton Bernolak, who was a leading figure of the first generation of Slovak national revivalists. The memorial of Anton Bernolak can be found at the western gate of the city. In the city you can admire the beautiful House of Music, which is situated on the street named after a local native, Mikuláš Schneider Trnavský, then Olach Seminary, which was the first Catholic seminary founded in Slovakia. Very interesting are also Trnava synagogues and many other unique cultural and historic monuments. The dominant of a small town called Vrbové, which lies at the eastern foot of the small Carpathians, is the bell tower on the west side of the Liberty Square. Its construction lasted 3 years and it was completed in 1835. After persistent rains in 1930, due to waterlogged foundations, all of a sudden this tower leaned forward. The test resulted 90 centimeters of moving away from the top of the tower vertical axis. Since then we can talk about the leaning tower in Vrbové, which of course doesn't compete with far more leaning tower in Pisa in Italy. Count Moritz Beňovský from Vrbové was an adventurer and traveler. On his travels he got to Kamchatka, to America and to the island of Madagascar, where he was even elected the king. In Vrbové you can visit the house where Beňovský was born. Today this house serves not only as a library and historical exposition, but also a place of social events. Let's move on from Vrbové to nearby Piešťany, known mainly for its spas. The bulk of these spas is situated on the island, bounded by the riverbed and the sidearm of the river Vach. One of the symbols of Piešťany spas is a beautiful water plant Victoria regia, which graces a small lake in the park. Piešťany Spa Island is connected to the city of Piešťany by the covered colonnade bridge for pedestrians. According to their constituent material, they call it a glass bridge as well. Its creator is an important Slovak architect Emil Beluš. In this spa town, there is really much to admire and it's worth spending some pleasant moments of relaxation there. Piešťany is also one of the warmest and sunniest cities in Slovakia. The title Slňava comes from the Slovak word for the sun, and it's actually deserved for this pond on the river Vach. Slňava was built for production of electricity and flood protection. In 1980s it was a protected research area, protecting the habitat of the numerous waterbird species. We'll finish this short trip around the Trnava region in the village of Dolná Krupa. The manor house located here belonged to the Brunswick's family and it's a work of great creators. In this manor house, which is situated close to the town of Hlohovec, there is a large English park with sophisticated water system, a former building of the Noble Theatre, Baroque orangery, a large collection of paintings and library. In the history of the manor house, however, mostly resonates the name of Ludwig van Beethoven, who most likely composed his famous Moonlight Sonata there. This remarkable monument is managed by the Museum of Music. Ancient Nitra is located at the southern foot of the massive hill Zobor. It is a city where the oldest history was written. We invite you to an unforgettable walk not only through this district city of Nitra, but through the whole Nitra region, in which we can find beautiful cultural and historic heritage. The great importance for this territory was mainly the settlement of the Slavonic tribes here, their concentration in Nitra region, and development of the first Slavonic principality. When speaking about the city, it would be a sin not to mention its dominant feature, the Castle of Nitra. The main building of the castle is the St. Emiram's Cathedral, consisting of 3 sacral buildings. The oldest of these is the Romanesque church. Later, the Gothic upper church was built, and the youngest of them is a Baroque lower church. In the cathedral on the Castle of Nitra, there lie the remains of St. Svorat and Benedict. Beside the temple stands a massive bishop's palace. Below the castle we can find the sculpture The Thessaloniki Brothers. In the central area of the upper town there is Pribina Square with its monumental statue of Prince Pribina of Nitra. On the western slope of Zobor, above the former Zobor monastery, there is an entrance to the Svorat's cave. Inside the small karst depression, the stony altar of St. Svorat has stood for centuries. Since 1932, the Iron Cross rises above the cave, which is over 450 years old. Below the Svorat's cave, there is a well called Svorat Spring. The village of Oponica is not exceptional for its size, but for the history and mystique. It's located under the western foot of the majestic Tribej Mountains. You can find there the ruins of the Oponica castle, and the big Renaissance manor house too, which was a seat of the Aponi family. A minor Renaissance manor house was their property once too. Its current elegant appearance is affected by several modifications of architectural styles. Today, the manor house serves as hunting museum. "15 kilometers south of Nitra, there is a former town called Urmin, today called Mojmirovce. There are several landmarks which indicate its very interesting past. One of them is the manor house, which is located in the romantic setting of the protected park. There is a historic building of the former stables, which point out that Mojmirovce held the first horse race back in 1814. On the road between Nitra and Zlaté Moravce, you can find the village of Beladice. The village is known for 2 manor houses which belonged to the Sentivani family. Both houses have been declared national cultural monuments. The road from Nova Ves nad Žitavou passes over the brook Drevenica in a place where a well-preserved old stone bridge is located. It was built at the end of the 16th century, when the vicinity of the village was plundered by the Turkish army. Therefore, today it is called the Turkish Bridge. The most powerful people of the country used to go to Topolčanky once. The local castle was firstly owned by the Habsburgs. In 1923 it became the seat of the first Czechoslovak president Tomáš Garrigue Masaryk. The last head of country spending here pleasant moments of the rest was Antonín Zápotocký. In the classicist wing of the castle, there is a museum with original equipment and library left after the Archduke Joseph Augustus Habsburg. In 1892, a nobleman, Dr. Štefan Ambrózy Migazy, founded a botanic garden and park near the village of Tesarské Mlyňany. Today, it's the largest and most visited arboretum in Slovakia. Around the romantic castle, which spreads over the area of 67 hectares, there is a beautiful green area with 2,300 species of native and foreign plants. The verdure is complemented with lakes and exotic pavilions. If you visit the arboretum, maybe it will evoke the environment of Japan or China in you.